The 12th Level Intellects podcast is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit watchtowerdatabase.com for more podcast episodes, videos, comics, artwork, and pretty much anything DC animated universe you can think of.
Only a 12th level intellect has the slightest hope of surviving what you are about to experience.
To do a 3, 2, 1 clap when we're all here in the same place?
I don't think so.
Should we anyway?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Okay.
Just to initiate it. 3, 2, 1, clap. Triple clap.
Hey, this is...
How will you line it up, James?
However will I figure it out?
Why is it hard to do that today? Because we're in the same room.
Yeah, I have to line up one audio clip with itself.
That's never happened before.
We're not even in a room. We're at a picnic table outside.
We are
Maddie's
out of
apartment.
every
That's
room.
so nice.
So
It
you're gonna
is
get
really
some
nice.
birds. It's a nice little. It's one of those like CDs you fall asleep to, like whale sounds or something. But it's Ted's voice and birds.
I was gonna say white noise, but how is that any different
I was
than
gonna
every
say,
other podcast?
My voice making whale sounds.
Thank you. Hey, welcome everyone. Back
I miss
to
Finding Nemo. Can we talk about that instead?
That's what. Fuck Captain Marvel. We're talking about Captain Nemo.
Captain Nemo.
Or Little Nemo. This is the 12th Level Intellects. I'm James, and that's Ted, and that's also Maddie.
We have Mattie.
Hi, that's also me.
What is this, a crossover? Is this
That's
a crossover
now you.
episode?
Yeah. Only just now. What is this
welcome.
podcast about? Again,
Bi-weekly geekly entertainment.
it sure is.
Comics,
we should switch places
film.
because I talk louder than you,
Okay.
and I'm
move.
sitting closer to the
Musical
microphone.
chairs.
You can't see it, but we switched places.
Now everyone can hear my soothing voice against the
Bobby
backdrop of roaring ocean
hasn't
waves.
worked a
and
day in his life.
Bobby Newport.
So
Parks and Rec.
we're going to be talking about Captain Marvel today, the movie. Not Shazam, but the movie Captain Marvel, about the Marvel character Captain Marvel.
She'll be with Bobby Newport in Avengers Endgame.
She will be, yeah.
Oh shoot!
Paul Rudd.
You're right.
Paul Rudd.
They should have a Leslie Knope cameo.
Well, Ant-Man. Ant-Man never worked a day in his
Well, what is his
Only 'cause they
name?
fired him from the Baskin Robbins.
Scott Pym? No,
No.
Hank Pym. Scott. What
Scott
is it?
Lang.
Scott Lang. Yeah.
monoline.
Hank Pym's never worked a day in his life.
I feel like we're not even gonna stay on topic at all because we're all in the same room.
It is a lot easier. Okay, so sorry for all this traffic
News.
noise, but you know,
News.
News.
What's the news?
James Gunn is back on Guardians of the Galaxy
Boom,
3.
boom.
He was fired a while back for some old-ish tweets of his from a few years ago that were not so great. Fired from Disney, but now apparently he only within the like a couple months later they rehired him, but probably didn't want to seem like
Too quick to jump for
Yeah,
that.
like oh no, we're wrong. Sorry.
Well, yeah, it's
But-
really awesome that they did that. Who would have
Yeah.
thought Disney would backtrack like that?
I'm so glad that the Nazis got James Gunn 2 movie franchises.
He's on Suicide Squad too. Yeah, it's in development. He's going to do
and
that
it's-
first before going
Which
to
is
the
other
Guardians.
news though, because it's not Suicide Squad 2.
It's
what
the
is it?
It's a
Suicide
reboot.
Squad.
Oh, it's a
yeah.
reboot.
It's
oh,
a
yeah,
reboot.
'cause Idris Elba is Deadshot. That was part
Yeah.
of the news.
So I'm,
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to start out with Idris Elba just showing up being like, was this some sort of Suicide Squad 2?
But TOO. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is did they have a new director on before?
No.
No, they never.
No, every director was like, no, we're not going to touch
Right,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
part of why they brought him back, was like, well, no one else is going to do this.
Probably. I wonder if he got a pay raise.
I wonder if this will be a like a Cars 3 scenario where it's not nearly as good. Actually, Cars 3 was okay. Cars 2 was bad.
I haven't seen Cars 3 or 2, and I just know I've seen the Maters talking tunes or whatever.
I've only
true.
ever seen the one.
He just says, if I'm lying, I'm crying.
Well, yeah, that's the main news. I didn't really have anything.
What do we think is
To be
going to happen
honest.
in the Suicide Squad?
King Shark is in it. I read that. He's confirmed.
Is he a man in a Killer Croc kind of makeup like Killer
No,
Croc? or
he's
is
going to
he
be a shark head.
like
on
a
man's
CGI
body.
shark?
Yeah.
Oh, no. So
Yeah.
this is the humanoid looking shark,
Yeah.
not the shark. It's Killer Shark. Wait,
Right.
which one's which?
Well,
There was one that was in Justice League Unlimited that was like a man with a shark head, and then there's one in The Flash that's like a full-on giant shark.
Yeah, it's the one from The Flash, full-on giant shark. But
is that Killer Shark or The Shark?
King Shark.
Oh, there you go.
The Shark.
Sorry, not Killer.
Killer Shark might be a separate thing. I don't know. There's a lot.
Other news. The Avengers Endgame trailer came out.
Yeah, but this is the part where you guys talk about that, and then I sing the Avengers theme.
Well, so there's actually not a lot of anything new in the trailer. The trailer was very much recut from the older movie,
Right.
And then they just added in a couple new scenes.
Black and white scenes from the first phase of.
I don't know why he's doing this. He has to listen back to edit.
He's seen all the other movies too. Yeah, you are gonna have to listen back to this when you.
Oh, you're right. I do have to do that.
Yeah.
And I could hear you say that, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. So I mean, not a whole lot of new stuff, but it's got me just as excited.
I saw the white suits picture on a tweet, so that's probably the only thing I would have been really sad to see anyway.
More spoiled by the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer.
Yeah, really.
Right?
The
Nick
fact
Fury's
that
back. Everybody's alive.
Spider-Man's back.
Spider-Man's back. Yeah.
But past that there was a whole Twitter thing going on where they forgot Okoye's actress. I'm forgetting her name right now. It's like, is it Dua Lipa or something like that?
No, it's not. It's Zendaya Michi is what you're thinking of.
Denai Guerrera.
Okay.
Yeah, they had forgotten her credit on the top.
So it was like everyone on the poster except her was credited.
Yeah,
and then
people got mad about it. They fixed the
fixed
poster.
it.
They said she was supposed to be there the whole time. Don't know how that happened. Some people got mad that they're bowing out to the soy boys, but
by correcting themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no subtext there. Everybody just go on with your lives. Is that a Thor? Is that a Thor picture? Is that a new Thor picture?
No.
No. All right. You can't see this because you're just listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
It's not an audio, or it is an audio.
It's not an audio.
No, I was just trying to see what the comic book movie news is in the past week. Captain Marvel's been crushing box offices.
Right. Yeah. We've been at Emerald City Comic Con the last 4 days, so we've been doing nothing really but trying to get a Will Friedle interview and walking around buying too many comics and action figures.
Jackie, if you're listening, we're sorry.
Yeah, that's the new hashtag.
And we love you, Jackie.
We love you, Jackie.
All right.
Jackie with the CQ. What else is there in the news? No, Jack. We got it.
We are. I mean, as of recording, we're 12 days away from Justice League vs. the Fatal Five.
True. It'll be a lot less by the time you're hearing this.
It'll probably be
week
5
of,
days, or something like that.
4 days, maybe.
We'll be talking about it a lot.
So that's exciting. Yeah, look forward to hearing us talk a lot about that movie.
Yep.
And talk to some people about that movie.
Correct. Yeah, there are. So we joked about this before, where we did for Batman and Harley Quinn, we did a what to expect video, what do we think
Harley
will happen?
Quinn.
Yeah.
Will it suck?
Will it suck? Yeah. And then we did. I steered away from
Can
Fatal
you answer
5.
that
Will
now?
it suck?
Can you give it a yes or no?
Did it suck?
No,
Batman
will
Harley
it
Quinn.
suck?
Batman
Will
Harley
it suck?
Quinn. No, did it?
The future movie. It didn't suck. It was okay.
But will Fatal 5 suck?
No.
Will Friedle?
Will Friedle suck?
No, just Will Friedle.
Will Friedle? Will it can't? Will it Friedle? That is the question. Anyway, we did a bunch of Batman Harley Quinn videos over time, and now that we have a set fixture of, okay, we're gonna do a timeline video, we're gonna do an Easter egg video, we're gonna do a Will It Canon, we're gonna do everything. We pretty much have to adhere to that again. So all the Patreon vote videos for the next several months are going to be narrowing it down. It's all going to start off with 4 Fatal 5 options, and one of those wins. The next one's just the remaining 3, and then the remaining 2.
What if they ask for the timeline before the Will It Canon?
I don't know, man.
Do it. Cause chaos. Do it.
We just do the timeline as if it's canon, and then when it isn't, we. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We pack up. We head home.
Yeah, we're done.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Though.
Have a review. All that kind of stuff.
Was there anything else newsworthy to discuss?
The Batman Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, we got a trailer for that.
Trailer is out.
That's right.
That was a lot longer of a trailer than I expected. There was more in it than.
And it looks a lot like the Batman Unlimited line of direct-to-video
the animation
stuff.
looks similar
just
to that.
A little more geared towards the kids.
It kind of it bums me out that they didn't use pre-established versions of the characters. I feel like even
Sure.
2003 TMNT and the Batman.
Yeah, there's
would
so
have been-
many. There's so many Batman like versions, but like TMNT, even though there are also so many, there's still like a pretty narrowed like scope by comparison. I feel like. I mean, there's been a bunch. I know in that like Turtles Forever, you see like a billion different.
Yeah, most of those are all
Universes.
on the comic page.
Yeah, but like I feel like Batman, like you ask someone to draw Batman, they're gonna draw him in their own way. Like but if you ask someone to draw me Leonardo, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, the '90s one. That's what comes to mind or whatever.
Right.
So there's not like I don't know, it's not as vast maybe. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like they're just making another one now. This is like its own universe where
like,
both are in the
I feel
same
like
universe.
This might be
something.
the first time that like an animated like a just new incarnation of the animated Ninja Turtles just had like one appearance. Like I mean there was like multiverse jumping like in the 2003 show and stuff like that. So there's like versions of the Turtles that show up in one episode, but like I feel like that's different than a complete standalone thing.
I think the article that came out before the trailer implied that it'll be a similar situation to the comic that happened a couple of years ago where like they visit each other's universes via some sort of wormhole kind of thing.
Right.
But then the trailer kind of almost implies like they say something about like Batman in Gotham. Like I thought he was just an urban legend, as if like they just inhabit the same universe already, which could be interesting. That's just what it is in this version, I guess. That just means there's I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But it's got Robin and Batgirl in it too, and they both look like they're kind of current rebirth.
Yeah.
looks.
The Robin was confirmed to be Damian.
Okay.
And then Batgirl does have that rebirth suit. Or
While Batman looks like he's from the 70s.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
kinda
he doesn't
weird.
match the other two very well.
Blue with like the yellow oval.
It's kind of weird for sure.
Strange
I'm eating
mix.
grapes.
We're all eating grapes today. James.
That's true.
We're just out here eating grapes.
I'm trying to think. You know what other news was there? Was Stephen Amell with Arrow?
Oh, we talked about it.
Did
We
you
talked
guys
about
talk
the
about that
ending
last
last
time?
time. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Did we mention Ben Affleck stepping down?
Yep.
Okay.
John Cryer is now Lex Luthor.
I don't think we talked about
that's
that.
officially aired.
Yeah.
Haven't watched it.
He was in Superman 4 as one of Lex Luthor's goons, or a goon
Oh,
of some
so he
kind.
stepped up.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah. I actually
Lenny or something,
I saw
I think.
I saw him put out a tweet being like, "Look, I feel like like being attached to Superman 4, which everybody hates, like I needed to make up for that.
Yeah, he had
so
said- yeah.
I'm bringing my A game to Supergirl.
nice.
Yeah, something about where he went into Superman 4 thinking like, oh, this is going to be so great. I'm on a Superman movie. I love Superman. He's a hope. He's an inspiration. And then it was Superman 4. And so then he well, shit. But yeah, everybody, when he was cast, I think everyone was kind of freaking out. I was like, the 2.5 Men guy? Like, really? Are you going to... Like, that's weird. But
Michael Rosenbaum said he's a good Lex. So, I don't remember.
And he said he was kind of channeling him, I think, for his...
I don't remember him saying that about Jesse Eisenberg.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll have to trust it.
Well, Michael Rosenbaum might have more like, just I don't know, love for the TV
Yeah.
worlds. So maybe not so concerned about the
That
dramatic.
makes sense.
Oh, here's some news. Grant Morrison is going to be writing The Flash feature
With
film
Ezra
script.
Miller.
With Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
They're co-writing it together. That's
So
really
weird.
cool.
Kind of
Yeah,
a
you did
weird
mention
thing.
that the other
It's
morning.
like they've gone through just enough writers with failed scripts that
Yeah.
nobody liked. That
I
they
don't
were
think
just
it's
like,
Flashpoint anymore either.
no,
it's just
yeah,
The Flash or
it's
something.
going to be a
yeah.
Flash. I'm sure it's going to deal with the multiverse and stuff. It's Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
In there.
No, it's cool though.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
hopefully it's not a Jeff Johns situation of like, oh, Jeff Johns is on the Green Lantern movie. It's going to be great.
No, this could be very different. I'm pretty sure Ezra Miller is like a very heady type of person too. Like he's a very he's got a unique spiritual sense, and probably
could be a
shares
good combo.
some interesting philosophies with Grant Morrison.
I assume people are probably not too happy about the I mean, Ben Affleck directs and writes some good movies that he's not in or partially in, and
You just couldn't
if
get the
Ezra
story
Miller
out.
was gonna, whenever Ben Affleck was helping write the
Yeah.
Batman movie, everybody was like, "What? That's stupid." So I have a feeling that's the same.
Well-
You seem to have happened upon a really interesting thing here that you're excited to talk.
So yeah, I just came across two more things. I feel like this is the longest news segment we
That's
may have
fine.
ever
That's
done.
okay.
First flop.
Marvel announced they're doing the What If series series for Disney
yeah.
Plus.
The
an
not
animated
Elseworlds.
one though.
Yeah.
Is it animated?
I
haven't read
maybe it's
past
not
the headline.
confirmed, but I think
It's a
it
TV
is.
series, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a series, kind of going off there.
Forgot about
They're
that.
like, what if this specific thing went a different way? I feel like it
Yeah.
would make most sense in live action. That way they could be
Yeah.
like, what if with the movies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
Because like that Ultimate Spider-Man, is that the one that was sort of set in the MCU to start with, and then it went off? The cartoon.
yeah,
that was sort of a what if thing.
It was
itself.
very MCU inspired.
Yeah.
from the
Well,
get-go. But
click
yeah.
the article. See what it says. I'm interested.
We're
if it's
reporting
like,
the news slowly but surely.
we are reading it off the internet just for you.
/film.com is taking forever to load.
But thank you, /film.com.
Let me
Is it
I think they've shared our stuff before.
tell you what,
Maybe.
I will open that in a different tab, and while that is opening, I had one more. That was the one that I got excited about.
Yeah.
It's not a comic book thing, but Bruce Campbell of The Evil Dead joins the cast of Netflix's animated zombie series, The Last Kids on Earth, with Mark Hamill and Rosario Dawson.
What?
That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow.
So
Bruce Campbell was in the Raimi Spider-Man movies, so
yeah.
he
So I mean,
counts,
it's close
yeah.
enough. I mean, like
That's
Evil Dead:
really
Army
cool.
of Darkness
Yeah,
right.
got comic series, so you know,
Right.
it's
They
in
brought
our
it back to
it's in our
Netflix, didn't they?
wheelhouse.
the
Ash versus Evil
Yeah,
Ash
Ash
versus
versus-
Evil Dead.
yeah.
That was a Starz exclusive,
Okay.
and then they put the first 2 seasons on Netflix.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah. Exclusive Marvel Studios producing What If TV series for Disney
Kevin
Plus.
Feige.
We have exclusively learned
You
that
said
Marvel
Feige,
Studios
right?
will
I
be
think.
producing a new television series for Disney Plus based off of the What If. New animated show will be overseen by Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, but the stories will not be canon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
But it might even
Okay,
be like
so,
X-Men related.
like the comics, this animated anthology series will provide stories that explore how the Marvel Cinematic Universe might have unfolded if key moments occurred differently.
So if
for example,
Captain America agreed to the Sokovia Accord.
For example, one
Right.
of the episodes will adapt What If Volume 1, Number 47, which explored the idea of what if Loki had found the Hammer of Thor.
Okay.
So
or at least managed to get it before he did. Or
So it sounds like they're gonna go off of some stuff that like you don't need to have a
prerequisite.
prerequisite
movie,
knowledge
maybe.
like you know Thor has the hammer. Anyone knows
Yeah.
Thor has the hammer. So you know
They're
Loki
not
having
gonna
the
be
hammer,
like-
they would know it's different. But it also says like if things from the Marvel Cinematic Universe went in a different direction. So
Like the end of Age of Ultron, maybe Quicksilver's alive.
yeah. So it seems like they'll be doing what if MCU specific stuff, and then what if like more broad
Yeah.
like
Did
this is a
this
thing
confirm-
What
everybody
if Coulson
knows.
didn't die? Maybe.
Did this confirm whether it was animated or not?
Yeah, it said
did.
animated.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, like, if it wasn't animated, of course, you have to get the actors back for that specific thing. And I was thinking, like, do you copy the same directorial style as Thor, where everything's a Dutch angle and all this stuff?
It's Disney. They can do all
Yeah.
this through CGI people now.
That's true. Yeah, they'll do. Maybe it would. Well, I wonder what animated means, because animated could mean either it's like a traditional animation or like a Star Wars Rebels kind of looking thing.
Or a Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel, because he was CGI'd.
Is this a good transition into Captain Marvel?
We're talking about Captain Marvel today.
That's the movie that we saw.
So Mattie and I saw it roughly the same time period a couple weeks ago when it came out. Ted and I just went and watched it for his first time last night.
Yep.
And I liked it better the second time. Mattie really liked it the first time, and that's all you need to know. So
Yeah,
now it's the comic relief, I think.
they both
Go watch and support the movie. Yeah.
They both got a refresher that I didn't get, so I'm
Right.
gonna let one of you guys start the conversation.
Well, Ted, what happens in Captain
Okay.
Marvel the movie?
Well, we start and she's already like in the middle of it. She's a
Yes.
Kree warrior hero.
Yeah,
Kree warrior
race of-
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's basically like Super Saiyan Kryptonian type, but she works for a group like they're kind of like the Green Lantern Corps. I'm using all these other analogies to describe this. So she's sent by this what was it called, a Grand Presence or something like that.
The robot computer that controls everything.
I'm
Yeah.
blanking on the name, but
There's
Supreme Intelligence.
Supreme Intelligence, something like that, like tells the Kree warriors where to go, what to do. And so they send them on a mission. It turns out Allegiance betrayals all the stuff. She has amnesia. She doesn't remember being a test pilot from Earth. but these memories start to come back to her later on. And it's, I guess, her gradual journey into learning how to control her powers, throwing away her inhibitions and the sort of pressure that other people were putting on her and weighing her down and not letting her reach her own potential and stuff like that. I don't know.
You got it. Correct.
It was good. She has a cat. There's a cat there.
There's a plane in the sky. Look at it, everybody.
We need old Danvers up there.
It's a bird. It's a
helicopter.
It's Superman.
We're both like, yeah, where's the plane? Oh, it's a helicopter. Well, anyway.
That's something that doesn't happen.
There's some cool aesthetic to this podcast episode.
That's the first time that's ever happened in this podcast.
Did you guys think that the special effects of her powers were cool looking and unique, or distractingly, obscure? They were kind of all over,
it's
really
what I
weird.
wanted out of the Iron Fist TV show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. I as soon as her fist started glowing, I very much thought, wait a second.
Instead of a Halloween pumpkin from the inside out.
Right.
But speaking of the television shows, though, it got me.
We're talking about Captain Marvel.
I know
now.
that. I know that.
Shazam.
I know that. But
you said it right.
It got me super excited that they did a lot of tying in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. They even said we're Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point.
Well, there's that. I mean, Coulson coming back is the obvious. The power
Pegasus.
inhibitors that they had. There was a whole plot line of the Kree metahuman trafficking and using power inhibitors in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The fact that she was kind of infused with Yon-Rogg, is that Jude Law, infused with his blood,
Jude Law,
and that's part of what brought her back from the brink or whatever. That's what they did with Coulson, and. There's a lot of people are saying stuff that they think there was more Coulson stuff that got edited out because he really didn't have a huge presence in this. Yeah. But in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson had never seen the Kree before that he could remember at least, and so it kind of keeps that continuity there.
Because he has, but he doesn't remember.
Yeah, because he was part of the project that ended up being used to bring him back.
I'm glad that the power inhibitor thing is expanded more on in the series, because that was something that I thought was not explained very well, because obviously I could tell what it was doing because they keep saying we can take it away or whatever, and it would shut her down. But I never understood now that I understand what that is specifically, it makes sense. Just the collars and Young Justice.
I mean, that's what I assumed.
They kind of had a similar one in Thor Ragnarok as well.
Yeah, the little zappy thing.
Whenever they were zapping the god of lightning with electricity, whatever since happened.
Yeah, right. But because I was thinking when they kept saying oh, we have the power to give you that and take it away, that I guess maybe that's part of their trickery is trying to make her think that they gave her those powers or something like that. Because otherwise it's what do you mean you can why can you just take away the power that came from an explosion? But I guess that makes more sense. Mm-hmm. I liked that the Tesseract was involved, even though it didn't need to be. It was kind of a cool...
Yeah, the Captain America little blue cube.
Mm-hmm. I from the first time that they mentioned Project Pegasus, I was why is this familiar? Why is this familiar? And it turns out that's where the Tesseract was in Avengers.
In the big silo kind of place.
Yeah, and then in Iron Man 2, it's confirmed that Tony's dad worked for Pegasus, or worked on Pegasus at one point. So it's so that's how the Tesseract got from him to Marvel, and then back to...
Yeah. The more I read about the movie, people like you coming up with these things, remembering these things, that I go oh, that was actually a really smart thing and not just a random... because the first time I watched it, I was why is it the Tesseract? Why does it have to be the Tesseract? Okay, we get it, but why does everything have to be the stones? It doesn't... It could just be a different power that gives her power. It's when we were talking to Phil Lamar, and he was what if everyone got bit by a radioactive spider? That would suck. But now in this universe, it's just the Tesseract gives everyone powers or whatever. But I get it now that it's more interconnected.
Who else has the Tesseract given power to?
Well, I guess not specifically the Tesseract,
Thanos.
but the Infinity Stones are
connected to everybody.
Yeah, they're running, and I get that that's because it's the whole, not phase 1, but the whole Thanos phase of the MCU or whatever is based on that. That makes sense, fine. But the fact, it just made me think yeah, I'm sure in the comics, Captain Marvel's powers are not given to her by the Tesseract. Like, it's probably by some other form of energy or, space.
Some other
Right.
explosion.
It's like they'll do the Fantastic Four, and it'll be set in the 60s, and in between World War II and the 90s when we see the Tesseract, and it'll be like, yeah, the Fantastic Four was traveling through space, and then the Tesseract exploded, and now they have powers. And it's just like they'll just keep doing that. But, yeah.
They might. It's they do it in every show. The Big Bang for Static
Right.
Shock.
That's true.
The Flash has that
This
explosion.
particle accelerator.
Yeah.
It's fine. It is what it's a superhero thing.
Yeah, I
Make it
mean,
work.
I just like talking about like Captain America and Fantastic Four, like setting that in the 60s and everything. I really like that this was a period piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it
I would love to
didn't
see
ever
Fantastic
tell
Four in the
you
60s.
like 1995. It just presented it to
It just
you.
said 1989 was 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's the only time. Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, like
We can't take that literally. He could have been exaggerating, man. He could have been thinking that 1989 was a few years ago, and he just didn't remember it.
I think we're kind of just jumping all over the board.
Sure, that's
but
what
like,
we do here.
I'm
on this
thinking
Waffle
It's
Intellects.
the very start, just the pre-credits roll, man.
The Stanley thing.
Yeah.
Tear up a little bit. Just
That's-
Took over the entire intro.
Yeah, he did. I was waiting because I knew it was going to happen the second time, and it did like the and it's like 2 Stanleys went by, 3, 4, and then
Right.
Ted went. Like he finally understood what was happening. Like, wait a second, something's not right here.
You giggled.
Yeah,
Man,
Yeah.
I teared up.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Teared up.
laughed
That
at it.
was-
I liked and his Mallrats script reading. I thought maybe I didn't expect them to CGI his face because that might have been like disrespectful to him or something. But I
Right.
kind of thought they did like color his facial hair or something to look more like how he did in
Was
Mallrats.
it a
But
Mallrats reference to him on the train?
he's reading the Mallrats script
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which
Didn't
like
realize that.
and like
it's-
practicing.
Which
it.
like
Wow.
I love it because like him and Kevin Smith,
Yeah.
were like
did
pals and
so
stuff.
did Kevin
but, like,
Smith not know because he had a tweet
No,
about like,
he
oh
did
my
know.
god,
He did know.
Okay.
He went into it later. He had gotten a call from Kevin Feige like pretty soon afterwards, and like I want to say they were saying that that Stan was like already kind of sick and like was
yeah.
having trouble getting the words, so he was like asking Kevin like if they had like B-roll so that they could use like
Play it for him.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense that he's not or that he was having trouble with that because he says like one line that he's reading. I can't remember what it is, but you hear him vaguely.
something true believer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so you hear him quietly say that, and then she like looks at him and he pulls down the script and smiles at her. And then he says it again, and then he says it again. He says it 3
pressing the
times.
line.
He says it 3 times, but it's copy paste the same exact take of him saying it. So maybe he only got it out once or something like
Right.
that. I could understand that, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was still pretty cool though.
I got really warm about that, but then like the
Yeah.
back of my fucking dumbass nerd brain was just like, but
So
he
is
mentions,
Mallrats, yeah.
but he mentions X-Men
Yeah.
and Spider-Man
Right, so it's
and
Mallrats
Hulk.
in the MCU or vice versa.
And, and so it was just like none of those characters exist yet. But like I don't know, like I'm sure like in the MCU like the Mallrats is different. And that's not the first time something like that's happened.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There was like a Wu-Tang Clan song played in Luke Cage like as real world music and like in that song or another song off that album like they mentioned Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so like it's not the first time it's happened.
Yeah,
So it's
you
not
just
like,
have to assume it's slightly different.
Yeah.
or whatever,
yeah.
Or none of it matters, and we should all just go home.
Boom. That's the one. Yeah. So
Nick Fury. I want to talk about Nick Fury.
Yeah,
Go for it.
He was awesome. We got
He
to
was,
see
yeah.
how he lost his eye.
Yeah, we
he'd always
sure
kind of
did.
teased about that in the past. And at first, you think it's through a fight with the Skrull.
Shut up.
I always get the helicopter when I'm
Are
talking.
you by an airplane or an airport?
I am by an airplane.
You are now. That's
I
not
mean,
a
it's still
helicopter. this time.
appropriate background sounds for the movie.
I'm
Yeah.
going to buy
We're
an
filming.
airplane.
We're recording this on the.
Captain Marvel set.
Yeah, exactly.
Linda Danvers. Not Linda Danvers, that's a
Carol.
Supergirl.
Carol.
Linda
Cara
Danvers,
Danvers.
was one of the Supergirl ones.
Yeah, Cara Danvers.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Stan Lee, or not Stan Lee, Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson.
Almost
Same
the same
person.
They made him look younger, though. They made him and Colston look a little younger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Samuel-
Colson's didn't really look as good.
It wasn't.
as-
I can't place why though.
it was like really shiny around his
They
eyes.
did that same Carrie Fisher at the end of Rogue One.
Compared to
Tony Stark at the end of Civil War or the beginning.
Well, yeah, Coulson looked. Maybe it works better on black people. We haven't seen it on any other black person yet, have we? The de-aging.
I don't know, but like
I don't know. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying it. I'm being a compliment.
It works.
He looks like Pulp Fiction Samuel L. Jackson. It's not.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
noticeable.
I've never thought it looked bad on anyone else though. It was just like Phil Coulson. I was just like, oh, you're kind of shiny.
Some moments like just look a little more obvious than others.
But there was no moment where I went, oh, Samuel L. Jackson looks fake. But any other character that has had that on it, I could tell what they were doing.
Yeah. I can't imagine Superman the mustache. Man hours that went into That is hilarious though, that like you mentioned Superman's mustache. It's like just watching this movie, you can see how much more like effort Disney puts in than WB has been doing.
Yeah, they're just trying to get him out there. Yeah, these have heart.
Should never be a situation where you have to go over an actor's mustache. That's just bad production planning.
We're going to be talking about Superman's mustache for the next 20 years, like as a society. Like it'll just be used as one of those like top 10 worst CGI moments in history.
Superman's mustache.
The Mummy Returns, The Rock, Scorpion King, and Superman's mustache.
Oh, you didn't like the Scorpion King? I love
no one does.
What? Well, you just met someone who does. Right here, your co-host on the 12 Levels
cartoon.
It's great. No, he's
anyway.
A cartoon.
Captain Marvel.
King.
Yeah.
So Ted and I didn't really like how he gets his eye ripped out, or like.
Yeah, it wasn't as good CGI as the Scorpion King.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the.
No, I do like how he lost his eye. I think
it was kind of very easy to tell that was going to be how he lost his eye, just because they kept.
We're not going to spoil it.
Well, there was a trailer that had the line in it where he picks up the cat and says, like, I'm trusting you not to something or other. Mm-hmm. And then people were comparing that to when he says, like, last time I trust someone, I lost an eye.
Right.
So it was like,
yeah.
Oh, people were making the connection, but then everyone else was going like, nah, it's not going to be the cat. And then it was the cat.
And now he hasn't trusted anybody in the 20-something years after.
Cats will do that to you.
I do appreciate that he at least makes up like a badass fake reason. Yeah. Like, oh, is it true the Kree burned your eye out because you wouldn't tell them where the Tesseract was or whatever? And like,
I saw someone's headcanon that said, like, this is the real Nick Fury, what we see in this movie, how he's like a lot more loose and everything. And everything since them is him trying to imitate Carol Danvers. trying to be more of a hard ass.
Yeah, trying to putting on the air of, I got my eye burned out by a Kree, like I'm a really cool guy. Like, but he's really just had, like, it wasn't.
But God, this movie was so fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot more fun for me the second time. Yeah, when I took it, because I think the first time I was thinking too hard. I mentioned this before, but not on the podcast. That I was coming off of Infinity War being this really like grim, huge event, like holy fuck, and then the next Marvel movie to come out is like one of the kind of Ant-Man-y, like yuck, let's just do a movie, you guys, which is fine. Like it shouldn't be compared to that, but I was mentally, like subconsciously. So then I went away like, well, that was dumb or whatever, and then watching it again, not thinking of it that way, thinking of it as a phase one thing. Kind of movie. Then it was cool.
Yeah, oh sure, definitely.
I think the acting of Brie Larson left a little bit to be desired at times, but she still did better than a lot of the other people who were like rumored to be cast might have done.
See, I had no problems with her at all. I feel like going into it, like not that I bought into the internet hate machine, but I like just watching the trailers. I was just like, man, I don't know. I don't really care about this one. Whatever. But like, she was just really electric on the screen. Yeah. Just like
static electricity. Here's no joke.
Yeah, that. But like, I don't like. I can't explain. It was just a fun time, and I love that the story was very character driven rather than like going for the big like mystery thing of like, ooh, the scrolls, can we trust them? Like I enjoy that they didn't go off on a relationship tangent, and I enjoy that they didn't do like a big like third act 1v1 me, bro.
Right,
And
yeah.
she was just like, nah, fuck it.
I saw that coming a mile away, but it was still funny.
Oh no, like I definitely saw it coming, like when we were in that moment. But it was very much appreciated that like.
You're right about the relationship thing. I didn't really think about that. Is like even in a male-driven superhero movie, there's always the like love interest kind of character
usually,
that you have. And this one, that she just had some friends.
Yeah,
like, there was
she had a really good friend.
Yeah.
There, and
she
a
didn't have to
daughter
have
who looked
a-
up to her like an aunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, her daughter Samuel Jackson. Yeah, but there didn't have to be like a man.
Right.
In fact, they play on that with the like, it's called a cockpit for a reason, lady, or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah.
Some nasty dudes.
Which, of course, I think we have to talk about that. A lot of people are.
Don't like women.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are like anti this movie because without even seeing it, they think it's some sort of feminist agenda, blah blah blah. Really, there was only maybe like 2 seconds of the movie that I felt was anywhere near that, and like 1%
Yeah, so I mean, it all depends on what you personally qualify as a feminist agenda.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like.
That's a wide definition.
They made sure not to put a relationship in there, so that there, like I've seen people saying that already, like, and it's just like, sure, if that's your fucking qualifications, but if that's your qualifications, you need to kind of reassess your life, you know?
Because I've seen people pointing at there's a shot where the little girl, Captain Marvel, this is at the very end of the movie, Captain Marvel puts her jacket on, flies away, and the little girl like runs up and happily watches her fly away, like she's literally looking up to her. And I've seen people like compare as like, well, that's stupid. There's no like little boys little boys in the movies that do that, and like the fucking Spider-Man Iron Man kid, that's the immediately comes to mind.
Like the fact that we did not rehearse that and both just said the same fucking thing. Like,
I promise we didn't rehearse it.
But we say the Spider-Man Iron Man kid because he has been like canonized as
Spider-Man Parker. Yeah, like in Iron Man 2.
He's just an Iron Man kid.
Yeah.
Is it 2 or 3?
It's 2.
But
it's
no,
2.
also to add to
there also is the kid in Iron Man 3. You're right.
To add to the thing about that girl is that apparently in the comics, like, she grows up to become Photon. So you know,
we might see
we're
her
about
come back
we're about
Avenger,
what?
maybe?
We're almost 25 years
be,
later,
30-something,
so she's around 36. So
there's a few hints at
she could
the
be
Young
in
Avengers
Captain
kinda
Marvel
coming
too.
Together.
Yeah.
But yeah, just on that. On the feminism thing, you know, I'm going to praise the movie on. I think it did a really good job of doing the. You got to learn to handle your emotions, but then also coming around later and being like, you should smile more. It's like showing like the contradictory like back and forth that you know people end up getting just because of their gender, and it's just like
it's in the 90s, which isn't that long ago, and there wasn't like a lot of. It's not like it was the 60s or 70s or something, but like. There's still that little bit of, you know, we've gotten better at it since then. And so she's just, you know, an alien, quote unquote, coming into this, not thinking as a human woman in the 1990s, a human American woman. And everybody's treating her like she is one. She's just kind of like, what the fuck what are you doing?
Right.
And like, just bringing up the 90s thing with it, like, I want to say I read somewhere that, like, at the time, women weren't allowed to be like Air Force pilots, and so like that's why they're okay. Gotcha. I must have like glossed over that line, or maybe I'm just remembering subconsciously. I don't know, but like so like I understand why people are saying feminist agenda, but like it's one of those things where if that is your worldview, like. You need to reassess yourself.
Why even focus on that at all?
Because these things are not the things that you need to be mad about.
It's just a movie. You either enjoy it or don't. That's why Marvel they make so many different types of movies.
I would just hate to see like someone like that who does have a child who's a daughter and be like, if they tell you to smile, if they tell you to smile, don't complain about it. Just fucking smile.
Just do it, yeah. For the pageant show that I put you through,
I don't know, man. Like that's just such a weird,
So the visual effects.
But, yes,
I had We talked about there were Green Lantern comparisons out the
Yeah, there
wazoo.
were.
The Green Lantern Corps and the Star Force was pretty similar.
The
They had the same
costume
like
design.
green and black costumes with the triangular logos.
Although they could easily change their color schemes.
That's true. Well, Green Lantern could if you wanted to, I suppose.
I mean, really?
Not the,
well, yeah,
not the
different.
aura, but like the costume.
Sure.
But I think that then there's the scene where they're flying in the quad jet through the canyon.
The predecessor to the Quinjet.
They're flying through the canyon, and
was
it's
a cool
very
shot.
much like Hal Jordan flying around in the test ship.
Was
and
that
stuff.
the dogfight
Yeah.
scene? Okay.
With
There was-
I walked out to the restroom during that just because like I had been chugging down the soda and everything. Well, not soda. I stopped drinking soda. Doesn't matter. But anyway, I've heard that scene was a shot-for-shot remake of the Will Smith dogfight in Independence
with Independence Day.
Day.
Yeah, that would be,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Apparently,
I can see
like
that.
apparently they snuck a lot of like small stuff in like that in there. I heard there was like a Jurassic Park one in there somewhere.
Maybe.
Then there's like when she lands in Blockbuster, there's the Carol Danvers to Star Command or
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
it is
yeah,
for,
yeah.
for Buzz Lightyear.
Yep.
So it's like
Oh,
even when they weren't doing, hey, this thing exists in the
90s,
90s,
yeah,
they
they
were
were
like,
still
well, let's
doing
do
it, yeah.
tributes to the 90s.
Yeah, no, I like that. I didn't catch the Independence Day thing. That'd be pretty cool. I'm sure as soon as this comes out on digital, somebody will do the side-by-side of that.
Yeah.
It'll be me. It won't.
Maybe even some like Star Wars Episode 1. I don't know. Like all the space battles
The,
felt very Star Wars.
Spinning, that's a good trick.
I definitely like
Pod
like
racers.
I start
pod racers.
when I started walking out to the restroom, I was just like, oh shit, they're about to do a pod racing scene.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
Sabulba off to the side.
Yeah, like I did
did.
I did not want to leave, but like at the same time, I was just like, gotta go.
Yeah. That was not a verbatim Sebulba line, just so everyone's clear.
What was it again?
I don't even remember.
Oh,
What-
Something about Zubwub, I think.
Okay.
What did you guys think about the scrolls?
I was going to say I really liked that they had a, like, practical makeup mask thing for the scrolls, or at least for most of them. Some of them you could tell were CGI just to, like, double the numbers and stuff. But
Right.
it reminded me a lot, which this could have also been sort of Maddie's cat's in the window. This could have also sort of been an unintentional 90s tribute or like smaller 90s tribute. Is like it felt like Star Trek aliens, how like on Next Generation they're just always humanoid no matter where they go. They're always just they're humanoid aliens because they can't do anything better than that really with the budget. So like the scrolls came off a lot like that of like Ferengis or some kind of like Star Trek alien that's just you're a different color. But I know, and I like that because if they had been CGI, it would have been a lot like the like a Steppenwolf kind of thing where I'm just distracted the whole movie. Like I instead of being impressed by it, which is what I was.
Yeah, mostly impressive for
Yeah.
sure. It's definitely like they're reptile people, reptilians on Earth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
conspiracy they've taken over.
Right. Yeah.
It's
They
like
know.
it could be your history teacher. It's probably your principal.
That's where that fourth
Your
scroll
pastor.
went. Is it's your history teacher.
mother.
Yeah, that's
Your-
that's something I wanted.
mailman.
Planes.
That's something I wanted to bring up was in the start of the movie.
Yeah.
There are 4 scrolls that come down to Earth.
Right.
Only 3 are accounted for by the end of it.
Yeah.
There's the one that imitated Coulson and died.
Yeah.
Scroll Nye, the science guy,
Yeah, and
which
the-
imitated Brie Larson or Carol Danvers,
Right.
or
And
Captain
Talos.
Marvel or whatever, and died. Then there's Talos.
And then
Yeah.
there's
But
the one she
the
chased on
fourth
the train.
the fourth one would
Scroll.
be the one that turned into like the old lady on the train, but then disappeared.
Yeah.
So
Unless it's somehow it didn't stick around.
I
with them.
bet
So it's
it
like-
goes to New York City and becomes Norman Osborn.
and then he's the Green Goblin. Then he doesn't have to change his
That's
look
my
whatsoever.
theory.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
yeah, but so like so
That'd be kind of cool. Actually.
I said it here first.
but so everyone's thinking like, oh, like
Who do
we're not
who do
we're
we
not
already know?
well
is
they're
the Skrull?
they're like we're not getting Secret Wars because they or Secret Invasion, right?
Well, why not?
Was it?
Yeah.
Because the Skrulls are good guys now, but like
Yeah.
there's that
Are they,
fourth
though?
there's that fourth Skrull that's out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Well,
are they
yeah,
though?
I like how they didn't. Like you have to think about it to remember the fact that he went away.
Yeah.
Because they don't. Yeah, they don't end the movie going like, wait a second, 1, 2, 3. Oh no! And then the movie ends. Like there's no that. So you just have to like, you have to be aware of that, and so then at some point, theoretically, someone will be revealed to have been one
The Skrulls.
the whole time.
I think there's going to definitely be some evil Skrulls.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
they're
Like,
not all.
like
Sure.
that's
Just like every
Not all humans
people,
are good.
exactly.
yeah. I think that a lot of people are taking what they did with the Skrulls as like the end all be all without like
No, of
kind of
course
thinking
not.
it through. Like
Yeah.
the Skrulls are essentially they're all refugees, and like while most refugees are just trying to find a place to be, a lot of them will have angry sentiment, and like it'll end up popping back up. Like this isn't me arguing for a border wall. That's not what this is. I'm just saying. No, I'm just.
Manga. I'm just
The fact that
I
like
get you.
I'm getting interrupted and not able to like coherently piece this
Freedom
together
of
is gonna
speech.
make me look awful.
freedom of speech.
But
is
no,
out the
like-
window.
It doesn't make you look anything on the audio podcast.
It's fair enough.
But
I mean,
Maddie's naked. He's been naked this whole time.
Now you have the image in your head. Honestly, it's called the vanishing point for a reason.
but no, like
It's always really cold in that room. So.
essentially, it comes back to what you were saying. Basically, not all humans are good or
Yes.
bad. So not all, Skrulls are
Hashtag
gonna
not all
be
men.
Not all scrolls. Yeah.
Hashtag yes all men.
Yes, and yes, all scrolls.
Scroll. All right.
right,
Anyway,
Learn your privilege.
so what else is there to talk about? The music was kind of cool. It had a lot of kind of John Williams vibes to it, which may have also sort of been a
So
90s
it sounded like a movie
callback.
soundtrack.
Well, no. There was
a lot of
people-
90s songs, too.
People try to emulate
Name another
that
composer
thing.
besides John Williams.
Danny Elfman,
All right,
Hans
name it.
Zimmer, Lolita Ritmanis, Michael McQuistion, Christopher Carter.
Name the most popular three first.
I sure did. Anyway, but yeah, no, there were some
Trent
90s
Reznor.
vibes from that too.
Yeah.
She's wearing
Tom
a
York.
nine inch Nails shirt
Yeah,
the whole time.
that's something I was asking Ted yesterday. Is like, how much do you think like Nine Inch Nails merch saw a boost after that? Because like
Yeah.
I saw someone wearing a Nine Inch Nails
I
shirt at
kept
Comic-Con.
expecting
Is
the
it
closer
because of
song
that
to
band?
play with the cat
Right?
there.
Yeah. It didn't though. I get it.
No? Okay.
don't
Sorry,
have to do
that's
this.
one to think about. It's a bad joke.
You don't
All
have
right.
to do this now. Don't do this here.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed. We got the salt and pepper. We got the No Doubt. I was really excited when
He was really fucking those Krees like animals when he was
Come
flopping them
on.
around.
I was really excited when Hole came up as
Tentacles.
like the credits theme. Celebrity Skin. That was a fun song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun album. I
It was-
definitely like.
What was
as-
the song that played when they were fighting? She was fighting all
I'm
the
Just
Star
a
Force.
Girl.
Yeah, it was a weird pick, but it worked funnily whenever like the Guardians guy. What's his
Yeah,
name?
yeah, yeah.
When he
There
like
was the,
he drops down with his sword and it times like perfectly with a big like downbeat of the song. So that's pretty cool.
the I feel
Come
like
as you are with the Supreme
Yeah,
Being
there
or
was that
whatever.
as well.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I think TLC was playing at one point, but like it was just it
Yeah.
feels very much like a mix between like if you had put Guardians of the Galaxy in as a
In
phase,
phase
one film
yeah.
and then made it a period piece like Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And all the elements of a phase one masterpiece.
it really did. Like had they put that out in phase one, like I feel like the MCU would be no different, except for Captain Marvel may have shown back up already. But like
So there
Yeah.
were being set in the 90s. This is, besides I guess the first Captain America, this is the earliest timeline movie as a whole. Is this correct?
yeah.
So like,
Besides First Avenger.
yeah. So I was
Wait,
thinking,
what about Ant-Man? Oh, as a whole.
yeah, like the whole, not flashback
Just
wise, but like the whole movie,
flashbacks.
yeah, or the majority of the movie. So I was thinking, we have a person that we used to talk to on social media, who we don't talk to anymore, who had he wanted to set out to, I only watch movies with my girlfriend in the chronological order that they are, like, instead of the way that the story
So
is
for
told.
MCU, he does it by when the post-credit scene happens. So he's going. I assume what's going to happen is he'll get Avengers Endgame on DVD or Blu-ray.
Right.
Stop it,
Play
and
this
then
whole
watch
movie.
all of
Yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Marvel.
yeah.
And then that's why you get the 5 disc changers.
Right. For Blu-rays. Yeah, they should make those. But because actually, so what I was thinking the whole movie, or as soon as it came into my head, I could not think of it the rest of the time. The second time I watched it was that, like, if you watch this movie before, if you try to watch the movies, say all the MCU movies are out, it's done.
Right.
And you're trying to watch them all in chronological order.
Right.
Normally, I would say, in the case of like Star Wars or something, that like, oh, you should watch the originals and then the prequels and then the new ones, because the prequels reveals you already know Darth Vader's Anakin and all this stuff, like, and it helps build the story and blah blah blah. I still think that in general, but I think this is sort of Captain Marvel is sort of an exception to. I'd be okay with watching it before Iron Man and those and stuff, because it introduces Nick Fury as this like cool guy and like an actual character the most of any of the movies,
right?
And then, although I guess Winter Soldier has some good stuff with him, but then when he shows up in Iron Man, he comes out of the shadows and you're like, oh shit, it's the guy from Captain Marvel, he's here to like, that's the only time that I think that's actually kind of a cool transition.
Isn't he at the end of First Avenger?
Yes, but I'm saying he's also at the end of Iron
I feel
Man.
like that was a post credits. No. That was when like Steve like got out into New York. He's like,
yeah.
Right.
What is this?
Yeah.
Where am I? But that's also a cool transition with the Tesseract, because you see the World War II Tesseract story, then the 90s Tesseract story, then the modern day Tesseract stories. So it's not like this is the only time that I think that it's like, yeah, that'd be actually kind of a cool way to watch these movies is in that order, especially even for somebody who hadn't seen any of them.
Yeah, I could see it.
Because then she also goes away at the end of Captain Marvel, and 20 movies go by, and then she shows up again, as long as you skip the post credits.
So in other words, it's kind of like when you watch the DCAU in chronological order, and you see Batman and Warhawk,
right?
And then all of a sudden you're like,
who are these guys?
Ooh, they're so mysterious. And then they go away.
Sure.
Until like a permanent 50 years in the future.
I think that was one of my favorite parts about the Comic-Con was when we were standing in line for to do Will Friedle autographs, which we didn't get autographs. We just asked him about the interview. We were standing behind.
You'll know if it happened or not.
Later. But we were standing behind a girl and I think her boyfriend, who were also waiting with us, obviously, and the girl had like a Batman Beyond hat on, and we were making jokes about, because Will Friedle was running late. He was 20 minutes late, he was 30 minutes late, he was 40 minutes late, he still wasn't there. And like, Mattie said something like, Will Friedle's interview time is perpetually 50 years in the future, and like it's always 50 years in the future,
50 years from now,
whenever now is. And the girl like kind of like laughed pretty hard at that, and we're like, have a business card, because clearly you get this. Like,
there's no way you would laugh at that line unless you watch our
video. Well,
because
but
like
didn't.
You haven't heard that line said.
Maybe
by
she
anyone.
didn't realize she had seen specifically Watchtower, but she might have seen the video or something.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, and then
if you're listening, hello.
Yeah, hi. Hey. And she also said she draws Batman Beyond like fan art and is trying to do comic cover artwork. So maybe we'll get her on Legacies. Yeah.
Cool.
And then, of course, Will Friedle showed up and he stood at the end of the line looking around like, when's this asshole gonna get here?
But
Captain Marvel.
Yeah. So was there anything else on Captain Marvel we wanted to talk about?
I don't think so.
I think we didn't really talk a lot about the Flurkin.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Well, we kind of mentioned the Flurkin.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the cat.
Mentioned it briefly. It was the cat. Yeah.
It's not a cat.
It was a fun.
What did you guys think about like?
I hope we see more Flurkin. Flurkin.
Flurkin's the plural.
There's a Flurkin in my curtain by Dr. Seuss.
There's a Flurkin in my Kirkin.
I feel like
my Merkin.
the CGI on it was kind of weird. Like,
yeah. It looked like a real cat to me most of the time.
Yeah, there
most
were a
of the time,
couple
but like
times
the
where it
zero
switched.
G,
A few times where
when
it got a little hinte, you know. But most of the time it was.
I thought we weren't talking about fuck you like an animal. We're not bringing this up. No, I agree. There were some times where it was obviously not. And when it goes up to the Tesseract and kind of pats at it, it's a CGI cat.
Yeah.
But I think I can tell those were only the shots where like we couldn't get the cat to do the thing,
shot
so we
with
just
all
gave
the
up.
G's, where they're going up the ship and the cat's like,
obviously that wasn't going to happen.
You can
but
see
but even just stuff like they're in her brain, the zappy brain temple things that the scrolls are doing, and they finally get to the part where they want to see the jacket with the name on it, and like the first shot of that is
it's
the
like
cat.
Rick and Morty. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
season 3, episode 1, where they go into Rick's house.
Zoom in there, Morty. Focus. But so you see the cat walking up to her, and then it cuts to a shot of the cat like rubbing against her leg. That's the real cat, but the shot of the cat walking up to her is the CGI cat. So I was like trying to figure out, like, could they just not get the cat? Like, come over here, dumbass. Like, come on. And, like, they just gave up. So
No, have you ever tried to get a cat to do anything?
Yeah, I tried to get that cat. No, the cat's not in the window anymore.
Yeah, good movie though. Overall.
The color change outfit thing was kind of fun. There was a Shazam color scheme in there.
And they had the original green and white.
Yeah, there's
Captain
that.
Marvel look.
I feel like most of them were probably references.
Yeah.
Of
I don't know
some
what the
extent.
neon one was, but that may have just been a joke of no, certainly not this one. But,
Maybe. And then was there? I feel like there was one more thing that
that we should talk about that we haven't yet.
Yeah, I mean I can't think.
I liked
the Avengers initiative.
Right. Yeah, that was cool.
How it was going to be the protectors.
It was maybe slightly ham-fisted, but it was still kind of cool. It was kind of like
nice.
it was one of those things like in the Star Wars prequels. This happens often where I didn't need an explanation for something, and they gave me one anyway. Right. It's like I liked it. It was cool, but I didn't need to know why it was called that.
Say in 10 years, you're going back, you're visiting these movies with your kid, and you watch it in the way that you just talked about, in chronological order. And then, like, he sees that, and he's like, oh, I know what the Avengers are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's also like a tease for them later,
Yeah.
Also, I was going to say I liked the scroll transformation CGI. Their face kind of, like, bubbles and rips apart and stuff, like, to turn into whatever. Because it's different than how they do, like, I mean, obviously different budgets, like, way different budgets, but, like, the Supergirl Jean Jean's shape changing is...
Not shifting.
Correct. Is a lot of... Just
He's got a whole thing in his mouth.
What is he doing there?
There's a squirrel with a pepper, maybe?
He's got like a bundle of berries or something. Bundle of berries.
I don't know. Man.
Watchtower Database. It's our new O day. Watchtower Database. Bundle of berries. Anyway, Supergirl Jean Jones, when he transforms, he just lights up red, and then when the red goes away, he's a different thing.
Right.
And obviously they got to cover up the bad CGI that they're doing.
Somehow.
But I like that in this one, it's like it really takes its time. Like they have to like strain themselves to crack into this new form. The only time that didn't happen, right? The only time that didn't happen is when the science guy is impersonating the other her pilot friend mom, and
Maria.
Then the daughter's like, oh wait, Mom, you're in here, and turns around, and the science guy, like in like that much time, just transforms back into himself, like, oh, that was just me. Like he doesn't do any like bubbly stuff, but that didn't really change the movie. I'm just being James about it,
Just being
Picking the special effects.
fun movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I highly recommend it.
Go see
I
it.
think
Go buy a
It won't be
ticket
in
to
theaters
Where-
by the time you're here.
No, it probably still will be.
Maybe.
Spider-Verse
It's
was
breaking
still...
records.
It just came
Yeah.
out. It'll be there for a couple months.
Where would you guys put it among other Marvel movies? Like,
Yeah. Better. Well,
It's probably, how many are there?
I'm trying to
There's
think of my
19.
favorites right now.
Is this the 20th one?
it might. I think it's the 20th. Yeah.
So I think it's not in.
Is it better than Incredible Hulk?
yeah.
Yes.
But I like Incredible Hulk a lot.
I do too.
Well, you're
It's
just
definitely better than Ant-Man.
What's-his-face
It's
fan.
better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
It's not quite up there with Winter Soldier, Civil War. But for like solo superhero movies,
Yeah.
it's
right
not,
around
it's
the
not
right
Black
around
Panther.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Put it around Guardians, like probably.
Above Guardians 2, but under Guardians 1.
Yeah, I would
Yes,
say that's a good
actually,
assessment. Yeah.
that's perfect.
I think maybe those aren't exactly. They don't go 1, 2, 3 on my entire list. Probably, like I'd have to figure it out.
Right, but it would be somewhere
be in
in
that
that.
sandwich order. Yeah.
Right.
I think I have more fun watching Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Like there's a lot more like actual like laugh out loud moments. This one had a lot more like sarcastic, dry humor, which was still funny, but not in the
It
same
had that,
way.
and it was a lot of fun with the world building.
Yeah.
Like, or I guess taking advantage of the world that has been built. Like,
Right, it's apples and oranges, I think, because Guardians of the Galaxy is like it's set in the MCU, but if you didn't watch any other MCU movies, you're not going to be like what's going on.
Yeah.
It's very much its own thing. It was when it came out. It was like everybody was like, how can they make a Guardians of the Galaxy? This is the most obscure like bullshit thing to make a movie about. But then now it's just commonplace. Everyone knows who they are.
Just wait until we make my Cairo Green Lantern movie.
Yeah. No one will ever buy that. Yeah. A B+ for me.
Okay. I could agree with that.
It's close. In the A range.
Yeah.
Maybe A-,
It's
but
a good movie.
All right, let's move on to comic relief. We just bought 12,000 comics at Emerald City Comic Con.
I bought too many
Got
comics.
a lot of relief coming.
I bought too many comics. Bought a lot of Superman adventures. I've been reading Superman adventures.
Let's each
good.
pick one thing and briefly talk about it. What I have to think of anything at all.
I can go first.
Yeah.
Because I've got the Batman the Grim Knight special at the comic book store. That wasn't even at the Comic-Con. I got that when we went into Maddie's local store, what's it called? Comic Dungeon?
Yeah.
In Seattle. So I got the Grim Knight, and it's kind of a spin-off. Well, it is a spin-off from the Batman Who Laughs. It's set in between issues 3 and 4. And in this issue, the Grim Knight is assisting the Batman Who Laughs on his like chaotic mission of just they're trying to prep our Batman and our Gordon for something like really bad coming, because they know that no one can handle it. But by doing this, they're gonna like torture them into being able to take it. So so the whole thing is like the Grim Knight dragging Commissioner Gordon around, just like interrogating him and just trying to like toughen him up. But throughout it, we learned the Grim Knight's origin story. So we kind of trace through a lot of Batman's history over the years. We see like really important moments, like when he's sitting in the chair and the bat crashes through the window and he's like, all right, father, I shall become a bat. But in this version, he just shoots it down. He shoots the bat as it comes through the window and kills it as it comes in. It all started because when his parents died in the alleyway, Joe Chill drops the gun as he's like trying to find the pearl necklace that's scattered around the ground. So as he's trying to get the pearls, Bruce grabs the gun and turns it on Joe and like shoots him 3 or 4 times and gets revenge for his parents' death like immediately. So when he travels the world and like trains to become Batman, he also learns how to be the top like assassin of the world. So
He learns how to be the top Flash villain.
He beats the top.
Wow.
He does not do that in this issue, but
Not yet.
Next issue,
maybe next issue.
we'll find out more about the Teen Lantern.
And as he becomes Batman,
What can you tell me about the Teen Lantern?
I know. Yeah, I think I've talked about Young Justice a little bit.
Oh boy.
So, Batman, this Grim Knight shoots all of his villains. We see, like, the Penguin, the Red Hood, anybody familiar, Batman guns him down as soon as he meets him. So he's just a super brutal version who... This is, like, a character that would have been on the sidelines during Dark Knight's Metal. Like, he probably was around, but the Batman Who Laughs is, like, keeping him to himself just to save him for another day or something. So... I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a great little spin-off issue about a really crazy take on Batman. It was like the Punisher meets Batman. If you don't mind a little gun violence in your comics, it can be a little much, but it was still a cool story.
When we were going, I don't have a lot to say about this one, but when we were going through all the Emerald City Comic Con booths, like exhibitor booths that have like comic sales going on the last day and everything's super cheap, and so we were going through all these like really old, really worn down old used comics, and I pulled out a barely being held together Battlestar Galactica #1 from 1979, and I have no idea if it's worth anything at all, especially not in this condition that it's in, but it looks to be, I read through a little bit of it and it looks like it's pretty much just a comic book retelling or adaptation of the first couple episodes of the 70s version of the show, but like really, really fast paced. So like in the show, like it takes like the first half hour of introducing all the characters and these are the 12 planets and a long time ago this happened and now this is all this stuff. And then in this comic, by like page 3, the Cylons are attacking, and I was like, "Shit, okay!" Like just blowing up all the planets and everything. And Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to linger on it too much, but I can't tell if, based just on this first issue, if it's literally they're just retelling the show, or if they just needed to do this for number one to set up what's happening, and then the rest of the issues are more like in between episode kind of stories. But
I'm sure they've collected it or something.
Yeah. It's probably not something I will continue to read, but it was interesting to see a comic that old about a show that old, and the parallels between them. And then on that same note, I guess I saw, for anyone that cares, I saw Mary McDonnell at the Comic-Con. I saw her speak, and I asked her a question. She plays the president in the newer Battlestar Galactica. And
Did the questions get political?
There were a lot of people didn't ask political questions. I was originally going to go up there and be like, so you played the First Lady in Independence Day, you played the president in Battlestar Galactica. When are we going to see you on the Democratic ballot? And that's what I was going to ask. But then she said it before anyone, because she was like, by the way, I would just like to announce that I'm running for the 2020. And before she could even finish the sentence, half the room was just standing up cheering. And then she was like, no, I'm just kidding. And everyone, oh. So it was pretty funny. But she
stole my joke for Wolf Dose.
I know, yeah.
That I stole from Rainn Wilson.
Right, we'll do it anyway.
Everyone's making it.
But
it's an easy one.
Yeah. But she so in the show there's a scene where I won't spoil who it is, but she's letting a character bleed out. She has the option of saving his life or not, and it's a character that's kind of like it's divisive among the fans of whether he should die or not. And so it was kind of a Jason Todd sort of situation of like, you saw in the preview for the episode that he's like bleeding all over the place, and so you're like, oh fuck yeah, he's gonna die, that's so cool. But then so in the episode she has to struggle with whether she's gonna let him bleed out or whether she's gonna bandage him up and save him and stuff. And
call this number to the side.
No, there wasn't a fan decision, but it was.
Come on, Riverdale. Fan decision.
But so I went up. I was gonna ask her that.
No one died. It was who ended up becoming the Black Hood.
Ooh, the Red Hood.
Yeah, that's Black Hood. Anything.
Turned out it was Betty's dad.
Oh
my God! Spoilers. I'm sorry if anyone's listening that hasn't seen it yet.
What do you think, Betty or Veronica?
Veronica.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cheryl.
Not the actress, the cartoon, the comic character.
Oh,
but so anyway, so that's the episode. That's what happens in that episode. And so since my question was ruined by her already saying the joke, I was like, do I ask her a question? Nah, if I ask her a question, I'm going to end up doing the same thing that I always do with these Battlestar Galactica characters, which is where I try to get them to tell my friend Joe to watch Battlestar Galactica. And so it's been 50% good and 50% bad so far on whether that's worked. And so I was like, well, what do I ask her if I'm going to ask her something? So I just went up there, and people have been going up and saying, like, asking her about what she thinks her character meant to young women, and question really like highbrow philosophical.
And so you asked her, is Batman and Harley Quinn canon?
I did not, in front of a room of thousands of Battlestar Galactica fans. But so I asked, the question line was really low, so I went up there and I said, we've been getting a lot of really good, like, highbrow questions based on the show and your character, which I really I like that a lot, because not a lot of people get that out of the show, So if you could go back in time and let bleed out, would you do it? And the whole room just like there was silence, and then everybody laughed because they're like, oh, that's actually his question. And then she sat there and was like, I'd have to rewatch the episode to remember what like Laura was going through at the time, because I don't remember if I liked the character or not. But I don't know, I'd probably let him live, wouldn't you? And I was like, yeah, that's probably the right choice. So that was my Galactica experience for the weekend. What comic did you read, Mattie?
So I was not prepared for this. So I've been sitting here racking my brain, and I got Superman on the mind.
Nice.
I've been reading Adventures with the Super Sons, and that's been a lot of fun. It's essentially been, there is a planet that I guess gets like Earth stuff broadcasted to them, and so people have been watching. By people, I mean children have been watching like the Justice League fight against like villains and stuff. And one of them is like super smart and is like, I like Lex Luthor, so he has recreated himself in Lex Luthor's image to be Rex Luthor, and has created a miniature Legion of Doom.
This sounds like a '60s Superman comics like storyline. Like the cover would be like, "I am now Rex Luthor."
It's ridiculous. They went to Earth. They fought Damian and is it John?
Yeah,
John. Yeah, mm-hmm. I get John and Connor mixed up in my head.
John Connor.
Yeah. So they fight Damian and John. End up kidnapping them, taking them off planet. And like it's just been like this whole galactic back and forth chase and fight against each other the entire time. Right now, John and Damian are inside of a prison planet, and they're trying to track them down inside of there, something like that. So it's that
prison planet. That's rolls off the tongue a little more.
Yeah,
that's been pretty interesting. But I've also been I've been reading Bendis's Superman and his Action comics, and it's hard to like keep straight which one is which.
Yeah, because he's writing both, and they don't really cross over.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
But
they should.
I know
they did for a couple issues, but
I know for sure that Action has started their new event, the Leviathan Rising. And it's been pretty interesting so far. The first issue, Jimmy Olsen goes on a date with this girl, and come to find out, he's infiltrating a fucking Cobra hideout.
Nice.
The girl's part of Cobra.
It's a fucking hideout where they fuck?
Yeah.
Sweet.
But while they're there, a bomb goes off. And so, like, Jimmy's already like, oh my God, like, I'm in this cult thing. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, they're all dead. And this is
he doesn't die.
Yes. So, like, this is super young Jimmy. And, like, he's in the next issue, he seems to be having some kind of PTSD about it. But, like, we don't stay with him too long. Lois has told her dad that Clark is Superman, and Lois's dad is historically very anti-Superman, so now he's like trying to deal with that, but he's also part of Cadmus or Argus or both, and so like he's meeting up with Amanda Waller, and like they're kind of chit-chatting about it, but like he's not really giving much away. He's just like, well, you know, I came up to a new startling revelation that's making me wonder if I'm even on the right side here. And before they get too personal and too into it, like they're like, so are we starting this meeting? And she's like, I thought you called this. He's like, no, you called for the meeting. And they're both just like, oh crap, like we got to get out of here. Like all of a sudden they're running out, evacuating the building, bombs going off.
Ooh.
That's like the end of the issue.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the issue. I think Lois's dad looks like he might be done for. Director Bones was in there briefly. I don't remember exactly his role.
It was always fun. Was he part of Checkmate?
Maybe I don't remember.
That's the best way to use him in our humble opinion.
Yes,
but then to end off like where they're teasing the next issue, they mentioned the Question.
Ooh.
And so like I'm getting really strong like JLU vibes out of this, just like Cadmus and Question and all that. Yeah. So right. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
They just used the Question in Batman number 66.
Yeah, we were talking on Discord about like all these appearances, cameos of him and stuff. Is like
it's cool.
Is that leading toward a new Question title? Question mark?
I would love it if it was, but
it was weird in the New 52. He was part of the Trinity of Sin.
Right.
Do you remember that stuff? It never really got answered.
He like I'm out and like
he was in Forever.
He was also
that's like the most in-depth it ever got.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, like wasn't he?
Right.
I think he was in Action or Superman like a couple issues back as well, because he got the hero dial. Or whatever, very briefly. Like that just kind of showed up for like a half second.
Probably teasing the Wonder Comics stuff.
Yeah. It was teasing Wonder Comics, but like it was there briefly, and Question was there, I think, to retrieve it or something. So like,
that's cool.
They're using him a lot as like a secondary character, and I'm hoping that we're gonna get a Question book out of it.
I bet we are.
Don't tell me who it is if this is the case, but does the Leviathan storyline have to do with that like weird red smoke monster?
I think so. Who
that is? Okay.
No, they haven't revealed who that is.
The Red Cloud, isn't that what it's called?
Something
or
like that.
I think they may have revealed who it was a little while ago, but like it's been a couple months.
That's as far as I've gone in that.
Leviathan was the name of a group, like a group of assassins in the Batman Incorporated book that Talia was the leader of, also.
Maybe we'll get a crossover, and that's how
That's
the
the
questions
Apocalypse
coming
of
out.
09.
They found a group
yeah.
called Spiral. Spiral with a Y.
Yeah.
That's who Dick Grayson worked for.
Oh yeah, I have the first volume of like Grayson.
Yeah, it was that.
Spiral or whatever.
With Helen.
Oh,
Lena
also,
Burnett.
while I have the floor, any Comic-Con, I guess, artists that I went to and was socially awkward with, my bad. I was very high when I was asking for your autographs and was not capable of having a conversation, and I apologize because
They accept your apology.
Ted was a very talkative person to Gail Simone, and then I just showed up right behind her and just put my comic down, and she's like, "Yeah, there you go, thank you." Next.
Or John
I
Delaney,
was
where you
just
just
as-
stared at him while he told you his life story.
Honestly, like, I wish I was able to talk with John Delaney more. I went and got my entire Adventures in the DC Universe line signed by John Delaney, and
Who is the artist for?
yeah, he's the artist for those. He did some Justice League Adventures as well, and you'll probably see an interview with him on the channel at some point. It might be out already, but so. Every issue that he picked up, he started reminiscing, like, oh, like, this is where I was in life when, like, I was drawing this and
You're
blah, blah,
just
blah.
staring at it.
And, like,
It's like a good year and a half of his life.
yeah, and so like, for, like, the first 4 issues, like, I was just really, like, listening to him, and, like, I was wishing Ted or James was there with
speak
a
with him.
camera.
We had a lot
to,
of
like,
let's split up gang moments.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cover more
and,
ground.
and so
As Mark knows all too well.
it just as it kept going, I realized that he stopped talking about them
Because you weren't.
because I wasn't really
Engaging,
being engaging, and so I'm just sitting here like, oh, do these
Oops.
people think I'm just getting these done to resell? Because I appreciate their work.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But man, I cannot have a conversation right now.
Ted and I both got custom John Delaney artwork. You got Kyle Rayner from
Yeah.
Adventures of DCU. I got Dr. Fate.
Oh, I
pretty
didn't see
cool.
that.
I didn't see it either.
It's
You gotta
in
show
our
it.
car. Yeah.
Gotta show it off.
Pop those up on the screen. Pop, pop.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Post links in the description.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I'll put them on DeviantArt, maybe. Anyway,
Maybe.
all right. We're at the Untitled Mail segment, which you wanted to call the questions, or
The
someone else in the
questions.
Discord said
Yeah,
that
someone in the Discord said the question parentheses
too.
S close parentheses.
Yeah, we have to call it that, the full name.
Okay.
I thought about calling it Orange Socks.
We can change it up some orange socks. Why that?
Because Huntress is like, what are you wearing? And he's like, blue fedora overcoat. You're bad at this game. Orange socks.
Okay.
So that's anyway.
I don't know.
Orange socks.
I don't know about that.
The question.
Okay, so this is
Parentheses.
in the Discord. This is
Yes,
from.
close parentheses.
Shut the fuck up.
The questions.
This is what I have to deal with when we're talking over Google, and I have to deal with it in real life too. By the way, Ted and I met for the first time on
That
like
happened
4
a few
days ago.
That was really fun.
in real life. Yeah,
And here we
He's
are
been
still.
he's
And now we're just not having fun anymore.
Yeah, nope.
Now it's
I found out I do
The
not like
birthday
him at
party's
all.
gone on too long.
Summer is over.
Okay, this is from Phantom Gardener. He says, question for the podcast. What characters from the comics that weren't ever depicted in the DCAU do you think would have been cool to see? Personally, Dream of the Endless almost happened too, or the Doom Patrol. To be fair, I'm probably saying this because of their current TV series. Ted, what is Dream of the Endless?
Dream. Sandman. Neil Gaiman.
Oh, it's not a full name. It's
Neil
just
Gaiman's
Dream.
Sandman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so like,
Got a airplane.
Ooh,
Up there.
just in time. Doom Patrol would be cool because we have those action figures. Any characters that were designed for action figures that never actually made it onto the show: Cyborg, Doom Patrol,
Blue
blah,
Buzz
blah, blah.
Lightyear.
Buzz
Blue
Lightyear.
Beetle, Animal Man, Firestorm.
Yeah.
Those all would have been cool to see in JLU.
Yeah. Those are always my picks because I've already seen what they would look like and just not moving. So,
Azrael would have been great to have in Batman the Animated Series.
yeah.
Zariel. in
Well,
JLU.
Azrael would have been happening at like the tail end of that series airing,
It
right?
would have been.
it would,
Well, yeah, but they could have come back for
Yeah.
a special season. Batman Beyond Justice League season. That would have been awesome.
yeah, which almost happened.
But that's not from the comics. Yes, from
No.
the comics
Yep.
specifically.
The rest of the scientists that helped with Zeta.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I
The ones we
really
never got to see,
just
yeah.
want season 3. I just want to know.
Challenges of the Unknown could be
Yeah. All other villains in DCAU, including Mixiazpalik, Amazo Golden version. That's what I
don't
like
make
to see.
fun of it.
No, I'm not. I'm saying like these are characters that I would like to see.
The Teen Titans would have been
Of
fun.
course.
Young Justice with Impulse and Superboy.
Yeah, Impulse would be a good one. Also, one that we saw
in the
animation.
comics. In Delaney's.
Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
It all comes back
The
around.
Justice Society.
Yep. Yeah, why didn't they just do Justice? Why do they have to do Justice? Not that I hate Justice Guild, but they could have just
Because
stuck with their guns.
they didn't want like that kind of stink on those characters, because I think they were like just recently like rebooting them for a book.
Yeah. I guess they couldn't
Jeff
have
Johns'
done.
book.
They couldn't have had them be like the same story where they were dead already or whatever. I mean,
Right.
they could have, I guess, but it was cooler that way. Yeah, I don't know. Spider-Man.
More Booster Gold.
Yeah.
It's from Levi Church. If you could become any alien from the DC universe, what would you want to turn into?
Martian. Because I
Yeah,
could
'cause you
turn
could
into
do
every
anything.
other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to be one that you can't transform with, so you're just stuck in alien form.
Kryptonian.
Yeah, you look the same, and you're strong.
I'm down with Kryptonian as well. They have expanded lifespans, and I am terrified of the void.
Well, this episode just got real dark. This is
So
from,
will the void.
A Sun Eater. I want to be a Sun Eater. I want
Yeah.
to be the Void.
I want to be McGinn.
I want to be Lobo.
Yeah, then you regenerate. Yeah. This is from Radical Robert.
Oh yeah.
Why is that GIF? Why is that a GIF if it's literally just a regular image?
It's Jiff.
It's
It's
GIF.
not.
It's Jiff.
It's
Well,
good. Graphical.
technically Ted is right because the guy that invented it said it was a.
Yeah, but
why
what did
is it-
Neil
why-
Adams
but
say about
we're
Razzle
missing the
Zazzle
po- We're
Ghoul?
missing the point. Why is it a GIF if it's literally just a regular image? These are the questions we'll be answering for the rest of our lives.
Because I used to be.
Was it
image
secretly a
file
PNG the whole time?
type. Right.
Yeah, it was secretly a JPEG. All
it
right,
was a
Den Tunes.
Do I look like I know what a
I'm
JPEG is?
groaning over here. That was a horrible question.
Sorry, it's
Sorry,
not
Rob.
me. It's Rob. Den Tunes.
Less than radical.
Den Tunes comic. This is kind of a possibility question, but do you guys think that Renee Montoya could have taken up the mantle of the question from Vic Sage in the DCAU at any point?
Ooh, what if instead of Reign of the Batman, we do Renee of the Batman?
Well, we're already sort of.
I want to make Renee the question in Legacies. I definitely do.
I already drew the character design. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We want to
You guys are getting
use
sneaky.
the.
I want to.
Renee Montoya, confirmed canon.
Here for is Renee Montoya canon?
She's canon. She started in the animated universe.
This is from Wonderlust Warrior.
Ooh, that's a sexy name.
It's a great name.
Is Terry a more emotionally and mentally stable Batman
Yes.
than Bruce? He's able to maintain healthy interpersonal relationships, kill or let die without letting it consume him, and doesn't have the obsessions and hang-ups that rule his life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a.
Is that the question?
Yeah. Is Terry a more emotionally and mentally
Oh.
stable Batman than
I mean,
Bruce?
that's
think they
like the
explained it
whole.
themselves.
I feel like that's the whole point of
Yeah, kind of.
epilogue. You know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have to
He
be
can
weighed
have
down
a-
by it. Yeah. Yeah, he goes on. He said, "I'm beginning to think DCAU's Terry is mentally stronger, or at least more solid, like in the context of knowing how to kill or let die, not be consumed." Blah, blah, here he said this. Bruce's inability to maintain a family or close relationship. Yeah, this is all.
It's like asking if Spider-Man is more emotionally well-adjusted than
Iron
like
Man.
Wolverine
Yeah.
or the Hulk.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Byproduct. What's been your favorite video to work on? What video would you like to remake?
Let's remake Harley Quinn's
Will It Suck?
Who's Your Daddy?
Yeah, we should redo that. Yeah. Back when we didn't know how to talk to each other.
Can our answer be the same video for both
Sure.
questions?
Yeah. What
Yes.
is it?
I'm really proud of the Batwoman one, but I wish it looked better.
Redoing your segments.
Yeah,
right?
because that was while I was in between apartments, and like there was all
Yeah,
like
half the stuff is stacked around you.
everything was a wreck, and like I was very short on time for some reason,
Right.
and like had to just bust into the apartment real quick, shoot and get out. And
Well, and whenever we do sketches like that where you and I are talking to each other, but not really, the and we have to try to like match each other's camera angles and stuff. It's not like it's impossible, but it's pretty obvious we're not in the same room.
Right.
Which I guess
It's a
is
good
part
try.
of the joke, sort of, like, we're not or whatever. But it is difficult, and it makes you wish you're like, oh, I wish we just lived in a duplex together or something.
Yeah, right.
But
I think from now on we'll have to do like over the shoulder shots from like Jessica and
Sure.
Sissy.
Yeah.
that way it looks like we're in the same room,
Yeah, or
even though it's
do
them.
it like the barely an
Have a
inconvenience guy.
fill-in.
Yeah. I think my favorite video to make is, well, it's hard to decide between favorite video to make and favorite video to like the reaction we got to it or whatever. Because really, while I'm in the middle of making the videos, I'm usually frustrated with something.
Yes, same.
So I'm like, you have that with filming them and like making sure everything's working correctly. I have that with why aren't the files loading? Why is my computer crashing? All this stupid stuff. But then when the product is actually out there is when I see like, okay, I'm glad I spent so much time figuring out that little tiny thing that was crashing my computer, whatever. Just, I didn't forfeit the thing or whatever. I think that some of my favorite reactions to videos have been like the Pokey Rap, the Yellow Bat Suit, the ones that have like stuck with people that they repeat lines from and stuff like that.
I think I want to add the diversity video to like
that's a good one. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one so far to have actually edited, because I didn't have to. Usually with the videos, I'm sticking to a pretty strict, like, okay, when a picture comes in, it comes in with this transition over this many frames, it has this backdrop, blah blah blah, which is fine still. But yeah, when I edited the diversity one, it was more like a Captain Christian or just a video essay. I didn't try to stick to like it has to look like this. I did fades. I did fade to blacks, and like we had the voiceover from the couple other guys that helped us out and stuff like that. So which was Batman Beyond fan page on Instagram with all the underscores and Comic Drake. Yeah, I think the one I'd like to redo is. I like your pick of the Harley Quinn children.
Daddy.
I'm going to look through very quickly the old ones. I think maybe the casting call ones. They're just the early videos that we made that don't hold up as well.
I had some audio issues at the beginning.
You had some audio issues last podcast.
I have audio issues sometimes.
I heard there's like a secret 20 minutes worth of
extra footage from that podcast.
Extra footage from
there
that.
There sure is.
We should find something to do with it.
You can't seem to go an episode without bringing that up again either.
I'm not going to talk about it. But
well, no, not
you should
that,
give it,
but
you should
got a little mention earlier too.
Oh, yeah.
You should give it to the patrons.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I don't know.
Maddie's showing us a photo of
SpongeBob
everyone Gary on a tiny SpongeBob Gary toy as the head of a naked Barbie doll.
Yeah, we had to explain
That's
that.
the one I wish I could redo
is that
the most.
the image we're going to leave people with in this,
Nope.
this podcast? No, we got a little more? Okay.
No, I'm going to... Yeah. What else? Were there questions? There was one more on here, I thought, but maybe not. I think that was actually it. So that's the end of the episode, I guess.
We don't have any more
questions?
that
was the
That was
ending
what we're
image
leaving
of the episode. Gary on a naked Barbie doll.
Yep.
That's all right. It's almost like Benny and the Jets, man, if you think about
Gary on a
it.
naked Barbie. Gary World.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody. This has been Picnic Table with three boys. 3 boys, 1 picnic table. Thank you, Adam Mullen, for our music at the top of this thing.
Wait, Byproduct said pronounced S or S?
What?
For calling it the questions.
Ooh.
No, we're calling it the question parenthesis S close parenthesis.
We're just wearing socks.
You
There's
didn't
a lot of
like
options.
that. You didn't like that before.
I don't like that, yeah.
This podcast is out every other Monday. We recorded this one way early, so there's probably better news that happened, but we talked about a lot of news that happened this weekend. We're at the Comic-Con, so it's fine. It's on iTunes, it's on YouTube, it's on WatchTowerDatabase.com. Maddie's taking his shirt off seductively in front of me. And I mean, not that he was wearing a shirt to begin with.
That's a good point to donate to the Patreon.
Yeah, you should. It's patreon.com/DCAU Watchtower.
There's a level where you can get those videos too.
Which videos?
You taking your shirt off.
Don't tell them that because then we will I mean then I'll have to
people
fulfill.
Want it.
Tell you what. Put it at the $300 monthly.
Is that all? That's all.
Put it at the $300, and we'll see about throwing up a video of me taking my shirt off.
We'll see about throwing up if you donate $300.
Just my shirt, and it's not necessarily going to be sexy. I'm just going to fucking take it off.
Take your shirt off. It's a 2-second video.
Throw it across the room.
$300.
$300 if anyone's actually interested.
So share this with your friends and every other video on the channel.
I do have. I
have
can make it interesting.
Get the umbrella tattoo.
Well, not on any of that. Just on my arm. They've seen it in the videos.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing new.
We're on social media at DCAU Watchtower. That's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
And Patreon.
Yes.
Teespring.
Yes. Teespring.com/stores/DCAU
We're also
Watchtower.
Loot Crate affiliates.
We sure are. You can go to the link in the description of this video, and you can put in Loot10, LOOT10.
It should be 1 too.
You say this every episode.
But it's because it's 10%.
You can't let it go.
No, but it should be 12%.
For 10% off of a Loot Crate.
This should be 12%.
And if you click the link in the description of this to buy a Loot Crate, we get a little bit of money. It hasn't happened yet, so hurry up. What did I was so rudely interrupted? Oh, you can also email us at info@watchtowerdatabase.com. That's how you can send us stuff. There's the Discord.
Yeah.
There is a Discord.
You can find that link on the YouTube channel somewhere.
It's in the description.
Community tab, maybe.
Also, a big thank you to Frito-Lays.
I like to eat my Frito-Lays. My favorite part? The Lays.
You were supposed to eat some Frito-Lays on this podcast.
We got the merch, we got the Discord, we got the Patreon, we got the Loot Crate.
Like, comment, subscribe. If you've made it the whole way through the podcast, you might as well like, comment, subscribe.
As well.
Hit the bell. Like, I mean,
you might as well
you
comment
like us,
and subscribe.
You like us enough to hear us out.
Yeah.
So just press the buttons.
It's just a button.
Or don't.
It's your choice.
It's your choice. Exactly. It is. Good old CCH pound.
It's always up to you. Yeah. Well, that's it.
That's the epilogue.
How do we end Keep Epilogue a Secret?
We're going to do a little picnic table drumming. Ready? All right, everyone join the beat. We're doing the drum.
Meme review.
And fade out from here. Just fade out.
The end.
No offense, but I really don't think you could follow the reasoning of a 12th level intellect such as my own.
Guess not.
The 12th Level Intellects podcast is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit watchtowerdatabase.com for more podcast episodes, videos, comics, artwork, and pretty much anything DC Animated Universe you can think of.